Hey, hey, happy Friday, everybody. Oh my gosh. So let me just tell you, y'all, sometimes you cannot control real life and life be lifing in these streets. And I am going to give a small life update if you are in my members only chat tomorrow. Of course, you guys know that I shared I have been in a relationship for 1 year as of tomorrow. And in honor of that, I'm going to be doing a very special members only chat. Um, and also giving a very personal life update because here at Women Winter Womanland, I really want this to be a safe place for women where y'all, this is where we come to be honest, share our truth, share our healing moments, our growth moments, and our not so good moments. And yesterday was a very challenging day for me personally. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. All that to say, it's a great day in the neighborhood. It's a great day in the DMV. I hope it's a wonderful day where you guys are located. And I want to know where you guys are logging in from before we get started on tonight's chat talking about villains. Oh my gosh, I had to use Candace in the triangle because the triangle trips me out. And I think it's relevant because we heard so much about her departure and how she didn't feel protected and all those things. And there were a lot of people, y'all. Twitter is not nice sometimes, but there were a lot of people on Twitter who were like, girl, take that mess somewhere else. You ain't got no room, no right to ask for no sympathy because you've been one of the main ones up here getting in people's business and doing the most. And so a lot of people had no sympathy for her when she talked about not feeling protected. Now we know other people cried for her and felt like, she was not protected, but there's a lot of people who disagreed and felt like, no, we don't feel sad. We don't feel sorry for Candace because Candace has also been very, very, very nasty to other people. So it made me think, do we care? Do villains deserve sympathy? Do we feel like they have the right to ask for the audience to sympathize when they go through some things? And I just wanted to hear what the people had to say. So I was like, you know what? This would be a great Friday Night Live, seeing as how your girl is on bed rest and can't go nowhere, no way. So I just set my PC up on my lap. I'm laid up in this bed, y'all. I look a mess, which is why y'all seeing this little avatar picture. Well, this is me, but y'all know I ain't live because I look a mess. And we transparent on Winter Womanland, but we ain't about to look a mess on Winter Womanland. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So I want to see where you guys are logging in from. Hi, Sharon. Let's see. Stevie J, welcome. Tawana, welcome. Miss Cutie Pie, welcome. Let's see. Black Swan, welcome, welcome, welcome. Love Coach for Kings. Are you trying to get the fellas all the way together, honey? Come all the way to the DMV because a lot of them is raggedy and can use your support and coaching. You're from Jamaica, California, Atlanta, Columbus, Ohio is in the house. Listen, before we get started, make sure you like this video, share this video, and invite someone to join the conversation on tonight because guess what your girl is doing? I'm going to drop the invite link in the comments. And if you have some thoughts on this, I want you to bring your cell phone up. I just ask that you not be long-winded because we are not in the church house. And child, I did enough of long-windedness growing up with my daddy in church preaching 3-hour sermons. I just ain't got the time and attention span for it no more. So what I will say is come on up, share your thoughts, keep it short. You ain't got to keep it too short, but don't make it too long. That's all I ask because I just don't have the patience. And so if you can keep your comments to about 2 to 3 minutes, I think that's good. And I may just continue to add people where we can just have a little group conversation. All I ask is that you be respectful. I asked you keep your file language to a minimum. I don't want to have to go back and edit too much because y'all know the saints be clutching their pearls. I do have some saints to still be following. So, be yourself, but, try to curb, your enthusiasm when it comes to all of the curse words. You said, good evening, Winter and chat. I'm from Austin. Hello, that Libra diva. My sister from another mister, because I'm a Libra as well. I usually don't meet Libras that I don't like, but let me tell you, there's some that I don't like, and that's just what it is. But for the most part, y'all are wonderful people, and I think we have great vibes and great auras for the most part. We can't spare them all, but for the most part, I think Libras are amazing folks. All that to say, I am excited about this conversation because, I'm gonna be honest. Since your girl had her exclusive drop on Thursday, of course we know that it's been picked up by a lot of different blog outlets. A lot of larger blogs have started discussing it, and I'm really grateful for that because the goal is to raise awareness and bring people's attention to the discussion of workplace toxicity in media. Y'all, it exists whether we want to address it or not. The conversation around pay, it's real. I'm not pissing on what we were paid. We signed the contract. I'm just saying, and like I said with Queen Sheba, I don't know what people think we get paid. And I think it's an assumption that we got paid a lot and we don't. So I'm so happy to see all the discussion. But even in that discussion, I saw people comment because from season one, I was considered the villain. And there were people who felt like, no, we don't feel sorry for Winter because we felt like she was the villain. Now, I explained to y'all that, in the midst of editing, they cut out a lot. If they had to air things as they were aired, then y'all probably would have thought I gave them everything that they deserved. And some of y'all didn't feel like I gave enough. I feel like, in some cases, y'all felt like I held back. But all that to say, we got a lot of that when Candace said she didn't feel protected and she felt like, she just wasn't respected and she was not given the same privileges as other people on the cast. And I'm just curious because likewise, if you guys watched the Potomac reunion, and I ain't gonna hold y'all, I didn't watch it. I saw the clips online, but one of the clips that I did see online was Giselle actually clutching Karen's hand, talking about the passing of her father. And she got really emotional, as I'm sure anybody would. But let me tell y'all, do y'all know these people on the internet, on Beyonce's internet on the Lord's Day? Because it was on a Sunday. On Beyonce's internet on the Lord's Day, there were people who saw this woman. Ooh, I almost called her a man. Giselle, you ain't no man, and I don't mean no harm and no disrespect. But I do feel like despite her crying and expressing this on the Lord's Day, people did not feel sorry for her. And I was really blown away by that. And I'm like, has Giselle become that much of a villain that people don't even allow for her to be human and mourn the death of her own father? I just don't think it's that deep. We don't know these people in real life and they're human. So I'm like, dang, that's cold. So I just was curious what y'all was feeling. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop this invite link. Join the conversation, honey. Jump on up here with me live. Jump on up and give your thoughts. How do you feel about giving villain sympathy? And is there a point where you just ain't gonna feel sorry for people that be out here coming for people in the worst kind of way? Is there a limit to how much sympathy you will give some folks? And you know, are you allowing these villains out here to be sympathize, empathize? Y'all said y'all don't consider Candace a villain. Okay, let me just say now. Let me just say now, everybody out here on Twitter don't agree with y'all. I don't know if y'all know that, but there are people who believe Candace was very nasty to some folks during her tenure. Okay. Not sure if y'all are aware, but there was some people that feel like, Candace didn't deserve no sympathy. And they felt like, she's been equally, if not more nasty than some folks, and that, she got what she deserved. And she didn't deserve to have her moment, to be low. But y'all know everybody got a low moment. And maybe I'm a sucker, but I'm just telling you, I personally feel like villains cry too. And there's always two sides to every story. And Sometimes there ain't two sides. Sometimes people are just raggedy, but that does not make them any less human. And so for me, when I saw Giselle, speak about her father and she was upset, I really felt bad for her. Now I'm not saying that lady been squeaky clean in her distribution of insults and shade and woo chow. But I just felt like, oh wow, y'all don't even feel sorry for her, crying for her daddy. That's something else. Stevie J says, I think people feel that way because of the editing. So we never get to know the real person behind the camera. Now, Stevie, I absolutely 1000% agree. And that is I don't want to call it a grievance, but again, because I feel like, I don't know what you want to call it. I have been um unfortunately guilty of criticize. I don't want to say criticizing, but y'all know I have my thoughts about editing. All that to say, it is very hard to fight a narrative that you can't control and you have no control over. And the reality is that you guys get to see a very small part of our lives on TV. So for me, it's very hard to fight a narrative that's not really all of you. That Libra diva says Candace has never come for anyone. She simply responds and they don't like it because she gathers them. Now let me tell you where I see Candace. Okay, I see Candace. Ain't that what you should say at the Joy? I see you. Okay, I see Candace. And I see Candace because that's how I am. That's how I am. Because I can't speak on whether or not she comes for anyone or not. But I will tell y'all, if y'all were to get all the show without the edits, season 1, y'all would wholeheartedly see that I never just jumped out there and came for anybody. Don't come for me unless I send for you. But if you come for me and I didn't send for you, you ain't gonna be prepared for how I respond. And that's where I really got in trouble season 1. Because people didn't like how I gathered them. And they didn't like my response. That's really where it went left. And I'm gonna own it. Because this mouth can be mouthing. Brittany Holly says, Candace has never come for anyone. We're not all watching the same show. She comes for folks all the time in confessionals. Now, baby, I don't like no confessional gangster. I don't like no confessional gangster, honey. You're not gonna come for me in confessional and then play mouse when we in person. I don't like that. I think that is I don't know. I think that's a trifling reality TV trait. That's a TRT in my opinion. That's foul on the play. You should not be allowed to come for people in confessional if you do not have the cojones to come for them in person. That's coward behavior. Now I can't speak to whether or not she did that or not, but there's a lot of that at times where people have a lot of oomph, in confessionals, but that same oomph is void in person. And I just don't like it. I don't believe it. I don't believe in it. I can't stand it. And I'm not sure. Like I said, I didn't watch Potomac. I'm not gonna sit here and claim to have watched it. I've seen an episode here and there. In fact, really where I saw it was, I think it was season 5 when the fight happened. I had tuned in then. You understand what I'm saying? But then I tuned back out, so I can't speak to the things that have and have not occurred. What I can just say is that a lot of y'all had a lot of feelings about her saying that she didn't feel protected. She didn't feel protected. Um, she didn't feel heard, seen at times, and she felt like, only the puppets. Only the puppets. Adrienne said, like the keyboard bullies. And is it Tiara? I'm going to come back to you. You said Candace definitely started with people. She threw Monique under the bus with calling Katie a slave to Giselle. Not a slave, child. My God. Mm. Well, I I don't know. Y'all had a lot of different feelings. Feel free to click the link to join me if you would like to come up and share your thoughts via voice. Um, the link is in the thread. Feel free to come on up and join me. The link is in the thread. But yeah, I just think it's one of those things where everyone can have a bad day in reality TV. And anyone can be the villain on any given day. I will say that. Now, honey, speaking of the villain, y'all is coming from one of my castmates like nothing this season. I would have never in a million years thought that this would be the case with Miss Silva. But y'all literally, I have just never seen some of the hate that I've seen for one person. I'm like, what had happened? Now, I know why y'all had a feeling season one, but this season, y'all is not having it. Y'all are not having it. You said all of them responded to questions, but not all of them are as rude. Oh, I see in their responses. Candace is always using anti-black statements against folks. Mm, mm, mm. Well, you said she messy along with everyone else. The problem is fans can't be honest. Oh, Lord. Wait a minute. Thank you for your comment, Tiara. Brittany says, Candace has said, bed wench, roach, slave, driver, etc. I don't like her calling anyone a bed. Did you say a bed wench? Huh. I don't believe I've never heard that. Wow. Now I can come up with some terms now. I have definitely been shady in some of the things I've said. Obviously, one of the most common things you guys reference that I've said is DJ Fun Size, Red Light Special. It's so funny. I heard someone say that recently, and I was like, I should have put a trademark on it. But I've said some things. I ain't gonna hold you. You said she said all of that and more. Oh my. You said Elena is the one I've been watching since season one. She seems sneaky in my opinion. Who is Elena and on which show are you referring to, Black Swan? You said this is reality TV. Folks are easily led by the narrative, fed to them by editing. Yeah, child, let me tell you. Y'all believe what y'all see. And for those who have been watching reality TV, for those of you that have been watching reality TV for a long time, I think for me, some of you are pretty good at deciphering what's reality TV and what's real, or separating reality TV from reality. And some of y'all are not. And I think that's where you get a lot of the fans arguing back and forth, because you're kind of going back in between those who get it and those who don't. Tiara says, I think Ashley is who she is. Ashley is naturally shady, but she can't really handle the villain role. Ashley's very sensitive, y'all. Very sensitive. And I've tried to explain to people, and I think she's even said, people don't realize Ashley is way more sensitive than I am. In fact, I believe that's why her and I butted heads so much, season one. And it's because we both are shady. We both have a very comical side to us, but we also have a very shady side. That said, I can go dart for dart. However, when I throw a dart, it's definitely going to hurt your feelings. Versus if they throw a dart, I'm not going to be as easily hurt. I'm just going to keep going. And Ashley's like, you just take it too far. And it's not that I go too low, but I'm going to keep going until we both decide, okay, we don't want no more. I really wish they had aired the full episode or the scene where Ashley and I meet up for the first time since, season one. And we got into it really badly then. And this is why I keep telling people, for everyone that thinks that I am following up behind Ashley and I were not good the entire season like that. A lot of our relationship developed once the cameras closed. But during the season, we had some really tense moments. You guys saw it at the workout event. You guys then saw it again when her and I meet face to face. And I'm telling you, it got real low and ugly. And I can't remember what she said to me. She said something to me that got on my nerves. If she was on here, we'd be cracking up. But she said something to me, and she was inviting me to her Say That Ish event. That's the bartending class we went to. But she said something smart, and my response to her was, I hope that we all can act our age. And she was like, I don't know um, if I'm all that grown up at times. And I said, well, I hope so. Y'all, I told her she looked older than me. Now, that was not nice. I realized that was not nice. But this is the type of stuff that me and her say. And when I tell you she wanted to, she was livid. Basically, our scene ended early. Oh, Black Swan, I see what you're saying. Now, that was the end of the scene. And I admit that was because of what I said. But I'm telling you now, we've had some moments. So I'm like, I don't mind shady, but I do try to stay where I need to stay until, people push me. Then uh, things get real unfortunate. You said, oh, I'm thinking for Ashley from RHOP. I don't know. I don't think people consider Ashley from RHOP a villain. Am I right or wrong? I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know. You say yes, the Virgo in me will take you to hell and back. However, I'm not the one to start, but I most definitely will finish it. Listen, is it Adrienne? Baby, I'm right there with you. Don't come for me unless I send for you. And if you send for me, you better be prepared. Stan, but that was not a nice thing to say. I admit it. It was not a nice thing to say. You said, but the growth in your butt and friendship um is immaculate. So I'm very proud of you. Y'all, I'm gonna be honest. I had a very tough day yesterday. A very tough day yesterday. And we will discuss this in my members only tomorrow. But oh, I had a very tough day yesterday. And I will be honest. Ashley reached out to me to check on me and even offered to come watch movies with me for the day because it was a very devastating day yesterday. So yes, Ashley and I have grown a lot and we've moved forward. But like I said, a lot of that y'all will not get to see on TV because it didn't happen on TV. It happened off TV. Even still, there are ebbs and flows in every relationship, and we don't always agree. And her and I have very strong personalities, but we do work to move forward. We do work to move forward. I think it just shocks people because we had such a rocky start, and it hasn't always been good. And I told her I did feel like she bullied me season 1. That's the truth. You say you're my favorite on Love and Mercy C. Oh, I appreciate that, DM Rocks. I really do. I appreciate that. Somebody said Ashley RHOP is messy. Not messy and a liar. Now, y'all know who cracks me up on RHOP? I ain't gonna hold you because I think she is messy, dipped in mess, but I crack up. And that's Mia. Mia cracks me up. This baby got a whole side piece out in the open, and I just don't, my mind cannot compute. It cannot compute. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But in a lot of ways, there's a part of me that respects it because at least she's not hiding it. But I think to see someone openly out in the public flaunting their side piece, because I know people lie so much in the reality TV space, there's a part of me that respects that she's owning her truth and she's not trying to hide what she's doing behind closed doors. I can respect someone who is just willing to own it, own the mess. She owns that she lies. She owns that she, does what she does. She owns it. And I think that is something that you can respect from any reality TV star. I think for me, for people who um come on these shows and want to perpetrate a fraud, that's where they lose my respect. I don't want it because to me, that is not reality TV. And Black Swan, I love your comment. It just popped up, but a likable mess is the key to any good reality TV star. I think that's where a lot of reality TV stars gain our respect. I think about, the good olden days of reality TV, Tiffany Pollard from Flavor of Love. She's a likable mess, Like she got on my New York got on my nerves. Okay, my nerves, y'all. But she was a likable mess. I don't know how else to explain her, but for me, I can appreciate that about Mia. Everybody ain't gonna like her, but she definitely has something to offer. He says, shout out to growth. I don't know what's people's issues. Ain't y'all growing and moving forward? People hate that. There's some people that hate that me and Ashley are friends. So me and Karen are my fave. Karen is a sweetheart in real life. She really is. She's a sweetheart in real life. Her and I still have a lunch date pending. And we was trying to come up with a date, honey, when they got the brawling in Ashley and Giselle's um announcement for their clothing line. That was a mess. You said, I agreed. I like Mia. She's messy. Yes, she is. She's funny. So Mia's a lot. I liked her this season. Oh my. Yeah, you got to respect it. It's something to be said for people that are like, "Hey, this is me. You might not like all of it, but this is who I am." And I think to me that's what reality TV is missing. You said if Mia would lie less. Not wait a minute. What does it mean to lie less? Not lie less. Oh, that's hilarious. Not lie less. I do think Mia has the potential to really run Potomac. I don't know how much they're gonna let her story play out, but we'll see what happens. You said that's like my granny always said, tongue and teeth fall out, but they still live together, meaning you can fall out and in its growth where you can move past the hurt. Own your part, move on. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. The oxymoron to say Mia is real when all she does is lie. It's fake and comes across as thirsty. Child, that's most of DC. Fake and thirsty. Not to say that Mia is necessarily, but if that's her MO, she is right in line. Cause I'm telling you now, most of DC is fake and thirsty. I was just talking to somebody about that recently. Fake and thirsty. You said people don't like you because they hate Ash. Child, I'm a casualty of war this season. Who would have thunk it? Now, first season, y'all wanted us to get along. Y'all hated me because you liked Ashley, but this season, y'all don't like me because you hate her. Make that make sense. I didn't do nothing to nobody this season. I actually had a pretty neutral season. I minded my own business because I knew I wasn't coming back. So I was just like, I'm just here so I don't get fined and I'm moving on. Hi, here for hot tea. And quite frankly, now that it's all out in the open, truth be told, I was so traumatized from season one. I really just didn't want to put myself in any situation where it was going to be crazy again. I really didn't want that. So I really laid low and played low because I just wanted to get through it because I knew I wasn't coming back. You said she lost too much. I'm over it. That's the part I dislike about Mia. She's honest this season, but came across as a liar her first. Well, how many seasons she been on? I say lie less because it does not seem like Mia could stop lying. So I'm just like, oh, that's hilarious. You said you just trying to help her out. You said it's just joy for you. She weird. I think a lot of people, it takes time for them to get into the thick of things when it comes to reality TV. I know um a lot of people when you're new, you just don't understand reality TV. I didn't know nothing about reality TV. You said I kind of agree with Tiara. I think people just don't understand your loyalty to her because she was so mean to you. I liked you season one. So here for hot tea, that's a great point, but that's also a misconception. I had no loyalty to anyone. And I was just on the side of trying to see things from a different perspective. But um, the reality was some things were just right and some things were just wrong. And I tried to see things from everybody's side. People didn't like that, but it wasn't because I was just super loyal to Ashley. I had no reason to be. Honestly. I really had no reason to be. So it's just, and a lot of it has to do with the way it's edited. If I hadn't, let me tell you what, if I hadn't known that I couldn't just sit there and skirt through, I wouldn't have came back to begin with, because the goal was just to really even out the way I felt like I was painted, and I knew I could do that by just playing even. But then the other flip was, now it appears that I'm against Joy, and I don't like that, because that was not the truth. I was never against Joy, but I always was not um pro Ashley and loyal to Ashley like that either. We weren't cool like that. So it's just strange to see. Oh, she's been on 3 seasons. I got you. I'm gonna miss some of y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. Some of y'all. Not all of y'all. Some of y'all. Because let me tell you, reality TV fans can be brutal. And some of y'all talk out the side of y'all neck. And then when I clap back, then everybody want to be like, why you get on reality TV? That don't mean you can talk to me any kind of way. Here for hot tea, I haven't seen Joy in so long. I think one of the things y'all gonna have to wrap y'all's mind around is that this cast really ain't friendly like that. We really ain't all that friendly like that. So I don't see her. And I don't believe they live in that lake house anymore. That was a rental. So I'm not even sure where they live. I couldn't even tell you where Joy and Clifton live. And that's the other hard part for me. It's hard for me to uphold a narrative that I know that's just not true. Like, I just legitimately don't see these people. I don't. I don't see them. I don't run into my cast in a grocery store. To give y'all context, it takes me an hour and 10 minutes, and sometimes an hour and 20 minutes just to get to Ashley's house. That's how far I live from her. It would take me even longer to get to where the Tylers live. And then I couldn't even tell you where Joy and Clifton live. And then it would take me almost 2 hours to get to where the Duncans live. Like, I don't live near any of these people. So I'm not even going to run to them at the gas station. I'm not going to run into them at the grocery store. I'm not going to run into them at Walmart. So it's not about us being on good terms. I just don't see these folks enough to even try to be on good terms. And I know that might sound funny to y'all, but I'm telling y'all the God honest truth. I don't like how some of the fans talk to me either. So when I talk to them like they talk to me, then it's a problem. I just don't get it. Here for hot tea, I'm answering you honestly. I'm trying to do my best, but I'm telling you the truth. Shan, I'm telling you. Ooh, child, I'm going to go ahead and move your comment. Now, Tiara, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that. See, there be some things I be wanting to say, but let me tell you what, I'm going to cut loose in this members only. Baby, once we cut loose and we get beyond this final episode, I'm going to say what I want to say in my members only chat. Telling you that now. We going to get into it on members only. Black Swan, thank you for becoming a channel member. Thank you for becoming a channel member. We welcome you to Winter Woman Land. Listen, on the Icy Insider community, honey, I'm gonna start calling us Frost Bites, because we gonna say what the heck we want to say in there, and I'm not gonna be filtered. I try to be good and filtered on the public front, but when we get into this Winter Wonderland, this Icy Insider, we gonna be frosty, okay? And Winter's gonna be unfiltered. You said, I'm just about over reality TV, especially RHOP. When I saw your interview on Queen Sheba, I cried because I hated how they treated you on season 1. That Libra Diva, thank you for sharing that. I will tell you that there's a lot that people don't know and people don't see, and people thought that I was really trying to shade, but I really was not. I was being completely transparent and honest and given a voice to what we experience behind the scenes sometimes. And it's very difficult, I think, for people to understand and accept that, because you know they just want to keep it to what they see on camera, but that isn't the totality of our experience. And so I was trying to give, a little more in-depth look as to what really goes on, you know? So I appreciate that. That was a real experience. I wish it hadn't happened either, but it did. After all their mess. Uh, okay, we're gonna move on to the next comment. Tiara. um, okay. Uh you said Shan Child was gonna be left of the show. I As many thirsty people in the DMV, I'm sure they'll find somebody to fill the space, child. These people want to be famous so bad. Members only is $4.99. That is our cheapest. I actually only have 2 levels right now. It's the $4.99 and it's the $9.99. And the only difference between the two is that in my $9.99, I'm going to be giving coaching tips in the realm of creatives. If you're interested in being a creative, if you're interested in starting your own business, I'm going to be dropping some really hot tips, and they'll get first dibs on some of my courses that I've already created. They'll be able to kind of peruse and use those for free. And I'm going to be dropping some free ebooks in my $9.99 membership, but $4.99 is all it takes. Cost you a month to get on into the frosty community, so we can say we want to say, because I don't like being filtered. I really don't. I hate it, because sometimes I just be wanting to say, and not be like, ooh, who gonna screenshot me and have it out here in these streets? Hi, healthcare workers. You said I like snowflakes better. I remember you said snowflakes, but sometimes we got to be icy bitches. So I hear that too. Well, let me just tell you, snowflakes has a weird connotation, and that is the only reason why I kind of deviated from it, even though a lot of people still refer to them as snowflakes. And I don't mind it. Y'all can be whatever you want to be. You could be snowflakes, you could be an icy insider, you can be frostbites. But I just feel like in my membership community, I really don't want to be I don't want to be filtered. This is building my community. This is building um my community of people who want to live and walk in their truth. And I think a part of walking in your truth is not having to be filtered. I don't like being filtered. I hate it. It takes all I have. Because sometimes I just want to say what I want to say, and I don't want to have to be thinking twice. You said me. I thought you were being shady with the Sheen comment, but I didn't care about that totally. I believe your experience was as you explained it. Oh, let me tell you what. Okay, how do I say this? When I said it while filming, it was a shady comment. This is no different than me saying that somebody was a wig stand. Okay? So when I said it while we were filming, it was meant to be shady. But when I explained it in the Queen Sheba interview, I was given context as to how a lot of us don't have money like people think. The perception is that we all are living these fabulous millionaire upscale lifestyles, but we don't. A lot of us are either middle class or upper middle class, but no one really had it like that but Monique and Chris. And I'm gonna keep it a buck 50. Like, Chris played with my children's father, who is my ex-husband of 15 years. I was an NFL wife. In fact, I'm technically still a member of the NFLPA. In fact, I am a member of Off the Field, which is the NFL Wives Association for Women. And I still get invited to all the things. I just got an invite to a Women of the NFL's conference, because y'all know these jokers be divorcing and cheating and having and side families all the time. So what they don't do is kick you out just because you got a divorce. Because if that's the case, they wouldn't have no members. Okay? So I say all that to say it is very difficult for me, and I ain't trying to be shady. Let me give a disclaimer, because everything I say is taken out of context sometimes. But it's very difficult for me to have a perception projected on reality TV, right? When I'm used to people with real money. And when I say real money, I mean like a lot of my wags, right? Um, I've seen them buy, Rolls Royces and walk right off the lot. Like, it was one friend, I ain't even gonna hold you. I hated going shopping with her because she would spend 10 grand every time. And I'm like, girl, my husband just got off the practice squad. We ain't got it like that. Like, we making this 300,000 a year, and that's good and that's great, but baby, I can't be dropping no 10 and 15 and 20 grand in 30 minutes. And that's what she would do. And I'm gonna give y'all real tea. See, let me hush. This why I need a members only, cause I'm gonna give y'all the real tea, but we gonna get into this conversation on my members only, because y'all can ask me whatever you want to ask me. But I've seen some ish being an NFL wife, but I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. So my friend that I was shopping with, truth be told, I didn't know at the time, but y'all, she was her boyfriend's side piece, and I didn't even know this man had a whole wife. I am not even kidding. This man had a whole wife and some children. And his side piece was coming to the wives' prayers and the wives' chats and such, walking in the wives' runway shows, and she was a side piece. Now, because she projected herself or presented herself like she was the wife, I never knew it. I never knew it at all, y'all. But I'm out here. I done befriended her. Our daughters had became friends and everything. I had no idea that this lady was this man's side piece. She had his black card. I mean, was spinning it up. Now, granted, he was a first round draft pick, so he had the money. But at the end of the day, I'm going to tell y'all what happened to me. Let me tell y'all how I found out she was the side piece, because I really didn't know. And she was going by his last name, but they wasn't married yet, okay? This is story time. So, this lady was shopping, spending this man's money, using this man's black card, and she had had a baby by him. So she kept saying that she was his wife. And I promise you, I never questioned her. And she was the sweetest thing. Don't get me wrong. She's a sweetheart to this day. And our girls were, babies at the time. Anyway, neither here nor there. Let me get back on track. Okay. All that to say, many, many years later, I went to this event in DC, and it was a high level event, but I saw some of my wags were invited as well. So all of us were, oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. Okay, let me go back. So it was an event for the NBA. So the basketball wives, they had an event where they partnered with the football wives. So we were all invited to attend. All that to say, a lady introduced herself to me using the same last name that the mistress had been using. So I said, oh, you must know him. And I named her husband and the mistress. That lady said, don't you ever effing mention that whore's name in my presence. I looked at my friend. I'm like, what's she talking about? So my friend was like, okay, calm down. Winter didn't know. She didn't know. I mean, she went off, y'all. I thought she was going to hit me right there in that event. I ain't even going to hold you. I was like, I am so confused. So my friend pulled me to the side and she was like, Winter, so just so you know, the lady that you know is actually his mistress. This is his wife of, I believe, 18, 20 years. Oh boy. So, that was awkward. And but true story. That's how I found out she was a mistress child. Anyway, they ended up getting a divorce. And believe it or not, maybe I shouldn't say that publicly. God knows, me and her, actually, I apologized to her because, again, by this point, I had been through my own mistress situation. So I empathized with her. But I'm like, I think I would be in jail had I known that his mistress was out here using his credit cards and living high off the horse off of half of my money. Because after 20 years and no prenup, trust me, it is half of my money. All that, I would have been in jail. I would have been in jail. Anyway, I apologize. Me and her have been good ever since. And so, I mean, she's still one of my dearest friends to this day. But I mean, it was awkward. Anyway, he ended up marrying a mistress child. They've been married for, let me think how long they've been married for. I think they got married in 2008, 2007. So they've been together a while. They've been together a while, child. They've been together a while. All that to say, with the Sheen comment, I don't like people playing my face when it comes to money because I know what real money is. When you done met Jerry mother freaking Rice and Emmett Smith and some of them greats, you're not about to play in my face when it comes to money. And I'm not saying you got to have a lot of money. You said, oh, girl, let me give you my money real quick. Come on, Stevie J, join the club, child. No, he had his chesticles out, Miss My Beauty. His chesticles was out in the open, child. You said, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I agree." Yeah, I don't like to be played. I don't like people playing my face. It really bothers me. Uh, healthcare workers. Yay, we did reach 5K. I appreciate y'all for getting me to 5K so quickly. That means a lot to me, and I'm excited about growing my YouTube community. I started out trying to grow it a while ago, but I just fell off. But we back on it. Don't you worry. We gonna be 100K before you know it. You said I like a little Sheen. I got a cart waiting on me right now, child. I used to like a little Sheen too, honey, but a little Sheen don't fit this butt. So we ain't gonna be able to do Sheen. Sheen don't work for this tail. Sorry, not sorry. That is my truth, honey. This butt is wide, big and wide, and might be little, might be short, but y'all, these hips don't lie. You said it right. That's interesting. Didn't know that about you. Y'all don't know a lot of stuff. We gonna get into it. I hope y'all get to know me for me in this community because I got stories for days. I have been in some situations, and I would hope to think that I will never have to be in certain situations again. But you just never know. You just never know. But that was one of the things. But let me tell you, I called my friend and I was like, girl, why didn't you tell me that was that man's mistress? And why was she in our Bible study? That lady was in the wives Bible study, y'all. She walked in our NFL wives fashion show as a whole mistress. In fact, she walked before me with her daughter and everything. And I'm like I said, I got nothing against her. She didn't cheat on. She wasn't the mistress of my ex. But I'm just saying, I'm like, why y'all let me be out here just out here ignorant and stuff? All that to say, come to find out, it was quite a number of side pieces in our Bible study for the wives. And then she started naming all the ones that actually wasn't wives. They were side pieces. So I said, since when do side pieces infiltrate the wives Bible study? Here we are praying to God to, protect our marriages, and the ops is in the middle of the prayer. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Child, yes, Tierra girl. I was friends with the mistress, child. Just a mess. Actually, I was friends with a number of them. Tierra, yes, I'm dragging a wagon. Trying to tell you. You said, yes, there was a lot of them that was bold. That's the thing to get me. Some of them don't care once they get the money. Honey, she had audacity and boldness. Uh-uh. Now, Stevie J, that's my show. I love me some Palm Royale. Hey, Angela. I will say, let me go ahead and put out this call to action. If you are interested in being a mod for the Winter Womanland channel, please drop a comment under my community post for this particular live, or leave a message or at me, or you can send me an email at admin@winterwomanland.com, admin@winterwomanland.com if you're interested in being a mod. Because I do need some mods. Because I ain't got no trolls just yet. But I don't trust these hoes. Trust them. I just feel like At some point, we gonna start getting some trolls, and I need to have them trolls under control. So if you're interested in being a mod, for this channel, let me know. Angela's been a mod for quite some time. That's when I was actually consistent, but you know, I fell off. But I love Palm Royale. I really, really do. But y'all, I've seen all sorts of stuff. I really have. And being a WAG was a good time. What a time to be alive. I still have a lot of friends from that time in the NFL. We'll be friends for life because it was such a unique experience. And, you know, I'm going to tell you, when I found out my ex husband was cheating, God bless him. But when I wanted to run him over, I really, really did. And these ladies played um just angels for me. They paid for me to stay in a hotel for a week. They flew my mama up here. Like they held me down because I legitimately wanted to strangle him with my bare hands. And I was pregnant at the time. So not only was I going through that, my parents had just um filed for divorce, and really we'll get into that in the members only chat too, so you guys can know a little bit about my background. But I grew up with my mother and father. They were married for 27 years, and one day my dad served my mom divorce papers, and y'all, he was a full-blown pastor, okay? A full-blown pastor. 2 weeks after we learned that my dad wanted to file for divorce from my mama, I found out my husband was cheating with the nanny. And that's really how that went down. Now, we'll get down into the thick of it. But I was also 4 months pregnant with my son. So that was a lot going on in the month of June of 2007. I called 2007 a hell of a year. It was the year of hell, with the exception of my son being born in December. Other than that, y'all, it was a hot hole mess. Yes, I am a PK. My dad is still a pastor to this day. I'm going to reserve my comments until we get into the members only chat. But we'll get into some things. Like I said, I really want you guys to get to know a little bit more about me. I've always been and tried to be very transparent. My past is my past, but you know, it's my life. It's a part of my life. I couldn't even imagine what kind of book would be written about me. It would be so many different chapters, but it would be interesting and entertaining. It's a lot that's happened in my life, but it's made me a better person. And I, you know, things happen. You can't always control what happens, but that was a crazy time, y'all. Crazy, crazy time. In fact, you know, I've walked with my friends through some crazy things, but being a NFL wife or a professional sports wife, y'all, the reality is a lot of these men cheat. In fact, I talked to one of my friends today, and I think her children's father, he has like, I don't know, 11 or so kids. I just couldn't even imagine. 11 by like 8 or 9 different women. It's all fun and games, so you got to shell out that money to them. So that's why a lot of them be broke, because they got too many kids. Yeah, I've been through a lot, y'all, but let me tell you what. I've made it over. I've made it over and I've made it through. My life is very colorful, and I don't have time to lie about a thing. It is what it is. But yeah, back to the matter at hand with these villains, because we done got all off topic. Jesus, what time is it? 9:26. And y'all didn't even come up here and chat with me. I can't believe y'all just stayed in these comments and you didn't even come up. What kind of mess is that? But y'all have been an entertaining crowd. Hi, CC with the C. You said, I'm loving the transparency. The fact that we as women all have similar experiences dealing with life is why we should be embracing each other. Tearing each other down is scary and heartbreaking. You know, I agree with you, CC. And I think, too, we've gotten too comfortable tearing people down. We've gotten too comfortable laughing at people's hurt and pain. We've gotten too comfortable using people's hurt and pain as weapons against them. I should not use your hurt and pain as a weapon. And I'm going to be honest, that is one of the things that was so heartbreaking about season one, is that I was willing to be transparent about what I was going through, yet the women were the ones who used it against me the most. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, if y'all don't recall season one, I was crying in my living room to Monique about that. I literally was telling her that I felt like they were being very low in their handling of me. Knowing that I was going through a lot and had been through a lot. So I don't disagree with you. It's really unfortunate. And that's one of the things that I'd like to change as I move forward in my own journey, as I continue to grow and expand this community for women. Like, I don't want to do that to women. Stevie, you said you're not a female, so you don't want to come up. I could be cute in the comments. Now that is funny to me. You ain't gotta worry about being judged. Let me just take a minute to acknowledge my new channel members. Black Swan, welcome to the Icy Insider community. That Libra Diva, I love that. Why couldn't I think of something like that? Thank you for being a member of the Icy Insider community. Welcome, welcome. Miss QT Pie, welcome to the Icy Insider community. Stevie J, thank you for joining. Listen, you came on out and joined us. I'm so proud of you for joining the Icy Insider community. And KD, thank you for becoming an Icy Insider. Y'all, we going to have a good time in our Icy Insider community. But don't y'all be screenshotting nothing I say and putting it out there in these streets so these people be knowing I'll be running my mouth behind closed doors. What happens in the family stays in the family. What happens behind closed doors stays behind them closed doors. Don't y'all be out here putting my business out there in these streets now. I don't want to hear about nobody telling about what I be saying in the Icy Insider community. But I do plan to be a lot less filtered in the Icy Insider community, because I just don't like being filtered. I really don't. I just like to say what I want to say. And sometimes I can't say what I want to say, because if I say it, it's going to be in the blogs. You said, oh, Kiki with a C. I got you. Baby, that CC threw me off. I ain't going to hold you. So what I would say is maybe trade the C's for a K. You said, I promise I won't. That's hilarious. Because that threw me off. I don't mean to botch your name like that. But yeah, y'all, I mean, my life is an open book. And really, that was one of the things that I was hoping I would be able to do with being on reality TV, was be transparent and be an open book. And I just really feel like it wasn't a whole lot of opportunities given for that. And there was a lot chopped out. In fact, and by show of hands, I want you guys to type yes before I go into this story. Do you guys remember at the beginning of season 2 when they did our highlight reel for the new season? Do y'all remember an ambulance in that trailer? If you remember an ambulance in the trailer for season 2, type yes before I get into this story. Yes, you remember. Anybody else remember the ambulance in the trailer? Yes. Black Swan says no. Okay. So if you guys were watching season 2 before we came back, after Monique left, the very first trailer that they put out, there was an ambulance in that trailer. And they never showed that scene. But the ambulance in the trailer was actually at my house. And it was the first scene that I filmed at my house. My son was home from college. My oldest daughter was coming home from work. And as soon as she got in the scene, she wasn't feeling well. Her boyfriend, Kevin, was with her. He took her upstairs and came down while we were filming. Me and my son were filming in the kitchen. And Kevin came and got me to come upstairs, and my oldest was having a seizure. Y'all, it was the most chaotic thing. I had to pause production and tell them, I need you guys to wait a second. something serious is happening right now, and I gotta, now I got a mama in real life and I gotta assess the situation. So when I went upstairs to check on her in her room, she literally was laid out in her floor having a full seizure. And so at that point, I had to tell them, listen here, I got to call an ambulance. Like, she's literally in a full blown seizure that I cannot control. But because we're under production, they tell us they don't stop filming for nothing. And I'm going to be honest, it upset my son because they were filming everything. All that to say, we had to call an ambulance. Now, in our county, the first responders respond first. So we had fire trucks, ambulances, cops. Our neighbors are coming out of their houses to see what's going on. Y'all, this is all filmed. That is all filmed. And I'm trying to figure out how to take care of my child in the midst of also trying to figure out what to do with this scene. Okay, because I really don't know what to do. I had no idea that this would happen. All that to say, they filmed me calling her dad. They filmed me calling her my mom, her grandmother, because I had to drive and trail the ambulance. Her brother rode in the ambulance with her to the hospital, and Kevin actually rode with me to the hospital. And that's what happened. So people don't know that there's actually real life scenes that happen that you guys never get to see. All that to say, because this was all filmed, I had to call them because my daughter was really concerned about them airing her, being in a full blown seizure on camera. And so, I called them and said, "Hey, she's really apprehensive about how this is going to come across on TV." And so, they assured me that they would fix it. What they opted to do was just not show it at all. But moving on from that, we did have a future scene where she talked about, you know, dealing with seizures and how it had impacted her life as a young adult because she couldn't drive for 6 months after that. When you have a seizure, at least in our state, they don't allow you to drive for 6 months until you get clearance from a neurologist. Um, but by the same token, these are some of the things that occur that you guys don't even realize that are happening, and you guys don't see it. It's not that we don't film it. It's not that real life isn't happening. But we can't control what they choose to show or not show. And that was one of the things that happened unprompted, unscripted, unplanned, and was filmed, but it was never shown. Um, yeah, editing can be a mug, but I will say that my son was very upset. He was very upset that night. Very upset. He was actually highly upset about the whole incident. He just did not like it. How is she doing? It's interesting. She just had a neurologist appointment yesterday. And we're still trying to get answers, y'all. It is something that she has dealt with since she was, I'm trying to get the right age. She was 18. And to be honest, she wasn't born with the neurological disorder. Um, it wasn't something that we knew about, when she was a baby or even a child. In fact, I found out that she dealt with seizures. We were driving one day and I can't remember where we were headed. My youngest daughter was in the back seat and she started having a seizure just randomly while I was driving. And so, because I had never experienced this before, y'all, I literally drove to the nearest urgent care I could find to get help because I didn't know what to do. And that urgent care actually called an ambulance to come get her to transport her to a hospital. And it's really just been an uphill battle ever since. And so we're hoping to get answers. Um, we've been going to different neurologists. Of course, they have their neurology in hospital, but they always seem very clueless. But hopefully, at some point we will get answers as to why she has this disorder. Um, yes, they did. Yes, absolutely. It's y'all, it's tough. And in those moments, I have to be a mom, and you have to put your emotions aside because it's very scary for the person who is experiencing the seizure. And oftentimes they're very conscious at times. Some of them are not, but some of them are. So if you're frantic, that can actually make the situation worse. And so I've really kind of mastered being calm during them. But yeah, it's something we still deal with real time. Um, and yeah, it's not an easy thing to deal with. Cece, welcome to, oh, not Cece, you corrected me. Kiki, welcome to the community. We welcome you to the Icy Insider community, child. But yeah, it's tough. It's not easy, and we're still fighting for answers. But yeah, y'all, there's a lot. When I tell y'all, this is what I tell y'all. I just need to put the cameras on myself and just package it up on YouTube because it's so much that happens. I remember I remember when we were filming and Yusha came to the house to meet Kayla. Do y'all remember that episode? Yusha came to the house to meet Kayla and she didn't come down. And she didn't come down because her and Kevin had broken up. So she was heartbroken that day. That was a real situation. I had no idea. She was like, I don't feel like filming today. Me and Kevin just broke up. I don't want to do the scene. So I had to on the fly, we had to pivot, and it was just dinner between me and him. But really what had happened was that baby had gone through a breakup, and it was a very tough breakup because her and Kevin, I think, had been together for like 2 years at that point, or almost 2 years at that point. Anyway, they got back together like 2 seconds later. But child, I'm telling y'all, can't nobody tell me my life is very eventful without having to be eventful. It's just one of them things. Yesterday was also another crazy day, but like I said, we'll talk about it in the Icy Insider community. Oh, y'all. So we are, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We are 2 hours and 21 minutes from it being me and my boo's 1 year anniversary. And oh, 1 year anniversary is tomorrow. We would have been dating for 1 year tomorrow. And I feel like, I feel like, um, I'm just so pumped. I'm so pumped about our members only chat because y'all are going to get a glimpse of whom he is. And you also are going to get access to a very special video. And the funny part is that y'all have seen this video in the public, but y'all didn't get the volume to the video in the public. So, y'all are actually going to get the volume to the video in the members only and a little sneak peek of whom he is. But it's so funny. We're going back to the restaurant of our first date tomorrow. And he's a romantic, so he wanted to go back to the place at the exact time of our date last year, but I actually have to leave and go out of town for my daughter's choir performance, so we had to push it back to be a little earlier. But um yeah, 1 year ago, um, we started dating. But a true story. You guys can go watch this video because I talk about this. We actually met the night before I was introduced to Yusha. And it's so funny the way life works. But I met him at a random networking event. And the DJ was like, turn to the person next to you and introduce yourself. And we were standing next to each other in front of the DJ booth. So we actually went back um, on the day that we met last year and took a picture by the DJ booth. So maybe I will show y'all that picture, a picture of when we first actually like legitimately first met and met for the first time. But we went back and took a picture for that. Fast forward, we started like literally connecting for professional like meetings, and we just talked forever. Now I should have been known, right, that there was something there. But by this point, I had met Yusha, and Yusha and I were talking. So he automatically got friend zone. Furthermore, y'all, his friend was quick. And y'all know how I felt about them people at that time. So I was like, no, I'm good. So he didn't even try to holler. Welcome to the Icy Insider community, Zira. Excited to have you a part. But I was like, I'm good. I'm good. And we just met up. He asked me to meet up, and we just would talk for hours. I invited him. Guess who invited y'all? Let me tell y'all how this be so crazy sometimes. I can't make this stuff up. So what had happened was, here's another story time. I'm gonna tell y'all my life is crazy. Anyway, what had happened was I don't mean this to sound bad, but this is why I need a separate group. But I'm gonna say what it is right now. So I'm gonna be honest, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but you shouldn't come across as all that square. Like I didn't feel like he was necessarily the type of man that would be, professional in a sense. And I'm not saying that he can't be professional, but his MO wasn't necessarily a professional appearance. And so for me, right, as for me in my house, I like my men clean cut. That is my preference. I haven't always stuck to that preference, but I'm saying that's my preference. Okay. And so because that is my preference, y'all, Carmen Felder invited me and asked me if I had a +1 to bring with me to Santana's holiday networking party at the Bentley Ashton Martin dealership. So in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't know that this is Yusha's type of vibe. So what I had did was invited him, okay? Because he is a business professional, he's an entrepreneur, and we had chemistry. So I felt like at the very least we would have a good time as friends. So I invited him. He showed up. And thank you, Kiki. I appreciate that. I invited him instead of inviting Yusha. We went to the holiday networking party. He drove in his car. I drove in mine because, baby, listen, we just friends, and you friends with Quick, and we just going to be friends because ain't no way. All right. Anyway, long story short, we both show up to the event wearing the same color because I didn't tell this man what I was wearing. In fact, I was going to wear red, and I think that's what I told him. But I ended up showing up in green. Well, he showed up in a green suit because it's a holiday networking party. So here we are showing up looking like a whole couple. All that to say, the person that was there helping with the catering was somebody I used to date not too long, not that long ago. God, what a mess. Anyway, we had an amazing time that night. The guy that I used to date left early because he didn't want to see me looking like a Bopsy twin with whom he thought I was with somebody new, and who he thought I was dating, but I wasn't. We just showed up as colleagues. Anyway, we had an amazing time. Yes, girl. Is it Pacino? Pacino? Child, what a mess. But that's really what happened. So all that to say, we had a great time that night. I invited him to Romancipation. Now, real talk. Those of you who are in my members only chat, once y'all see him, if y'all go back and watch the Romancipation, baby is in that scene. He actually is in the scene. They get a small glimpse of him, and he thought he was hiding, but the camera caught him. So he's in that scene, and again, he had not shot a shot. So I just proceeded forward with getting to know Yusha. Of course, he don't know nothing about no Yusha. He comes to the romancipation, and here, me and Yusha come out looking like Jay and Bay. And he was like, seriously? He had no idea. And that's really where that began and ended, because from that point forward, uh from that point forward, your girl just kept seeing Yusha. But at that point, he definitely stood down, because he was like, oh, she got a man, right? He wasn't the type that was like, what your man got to do with me. He was respectful, and went on about his business. And we would keep in touch as friends here and there, but we just did not hang out anymore. Fast forward, he reached out to me to check in. And this was like after me and Yusha broke up, and he was like, I'm happy for you. You seem happy. I love black love, yada yada yada. Um, and I was like, child, we ain't together no more. He was like, what happened? So that's how we started talking. That's how we started talking. I told him, hey, I might have sort of kind of been interested, but you didn't shoot no shot. And he was like, hey, I can fix that. What are you doing in a couple of weeks? Would love to take you out. And tomorrow, on the 20th of last year, we went out on our first date. And we've been joint at the hip ever since. He's an amazing guy. You say you can't judge a book by the cover. You can't, but I wasn't all that off, because I'm gonna tell you now, he pissed me off at Jamie's retirement party with his attire. It's nothing against Jordans. I just don't feel like they should be worn with everything. You said, may I ask one question about the usual situation? Do you think that Sherelle and Black should have done more research before hooking you up with him? I think they should have gotten to know me more, because I think if they had gotten to know me more, they wouldn't have hooked me up with him. And I'm curious if they gonna leave it in for the reunion. But one of my requirements is that you cannot be broke. And nothing against people that ain't financially secure, but I'm not gonna be able to do it at 42. I don't I'm not a woman who keeps men. Okay, I'm not a woman I'm not a woman who funds men. You understand what I'm saying? So if you don't have money to fund yourself, then you're it's impossible. It's like the Bible says, without faith it is impossible to please God. Well, without funds it is impossible to please Winter. And I don't mean no harm, but at 42, I don't want to be reduced to certain things when I haven't been reduced to that in quite some time. And I'm not saying you got to be rich. I've dated men who probably make 80, 90, 100,000 a year, but they take care of their finances, and we can still have a good time. You see what I'm saying? This is why. Okay, let me hush. We'll continue to we'll continue to discuss this in my members on. Let me be quiet, because I can see right now that I'm about to get reckless. About to get reckless. Let me just hush. Because, even though people gave me a hard time for being a relationship coach, I really do love talking about relationships. And I feel like, one of these days we need to just have a relationship evening where we can just go in. What I wish I knew Wednesdays, or, Madness Mondays. Salacious Saturdays. Like, what is your craziest? I love relationship discussions. Like, what is your craziest relationship situation? KD, that's a great question. Um, Yeah, it does come with backlash. I've just learned I can't control everyone's perspective about my truth. It was very difficult the first few days, and I actually took some time offline because I think it's natural to want to defend yourself when people misunderstand or misquote or misrepresent your perspective. Um, so it was very difficult for me. Shout out to my people um, for just holding me down, and honestly, can I just say how amazing so many of y'all have been with I really try to avoid comments because they upset me sometimes. But I went into somebody's comment section, and can I just say that some of y'all is holding it down on my behalf in these comment sections? I was like, baby, who needs friends when you got people that are ride for you like this in the comments that are strangers? But y'all have literally, I mean, I was watching not watching, but I was reading one comment section and I was tickled. Y'all got people all the way together. And the crazy part is that some of y'all was like, I'm not even team winter, but she deserved to say what she experienced. Like y'all were going in. And I think for me to see that, it was just so encouraging because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who likes or dislikes your truth. Your truth is your truth. No one can take that away from you, and no one can tell me what I experienced. And yes, I took a huge risk, y'all, by being honest about my experience because a lot of people just wouldn't share it. And yes, there are the people who say, well, if you're not going to be on the show anymore, then just go on and be quiet and quit talking about it. But this is why things never change. And this is why things never get better. And this is why people never come forward and why people never assume that anything's wrong because people don't speak up when things are actually wrong. So it's been challenging. I think that's a wonderful question. I don't want to sit here and give the impression that it hasn't been, but I believe that there's a lot of good to come out of this by speaking the truth, and I don't regret it. I was honest, um, I was transparent, I was vulnerable, and yes, obviously people are going to question, well, why did you return? Well, I personally feel like um I personally felt like that I would have the opportunity to correct the narrative that was painted about me season 1. And y'all, to be honest, I did. I don't feel like people view me as the villain this season. I just learned through this season that in reality TV, it's actually naive to ever think you can control any part of your narrative. And while I may not have been painted as the villain, I still received some paint I don't agree with, i.e., beef with Joy, because that was just blatantly not true. And that may upset some people by my saying that, but I ain't gonna lie for y'all so y'all can accept what y'all are watching. I'm gonna just be honest and keep saying, y'all, I wasn't against Joy. I wasn't bullying Joy. I wasn't, hating Joy. I thought me and Joy was cool. I just didn't agree with everything she did concerning Black. But other than that, I didn't care about what her and Ashley had going on. It had nothing to do with me. All that to say, um, I told the truth. And that's all I can stand on. That's all I can stand on. You said in true Libra fashion, you're standing up for justice. Now, Libra diva, baby, you preaching. Now, one thing's for certain and two things for sure. Libra's gonna stand up for what they believe is right. And I am a Libra through and through. When I tell you I cannot stand any level of injustice, I will say that I personally learned my lesson. And that's why I knew going into season 2, y'all, I knew going into season 2 I wasn't coming back. I knew that. Now, the reason why I abruptly quit like I did was because it just got out of hand. And I realized nothing was being done. And it's like, you know what? The season is almost over, y'all. I don't even care anymore. I'm done. I am done. But all that to say, it further lit a fire under my butt to be like, some things are just not right. And we need to speak to that. And we need to amplify the issues that could bring about change and make the environment better for the future. Because I'm not saying that reality TV is dead or going away, but I am saying that I do believe that reality TV needs to be revamped and there needs to be some changes and things could stand to be done better. This is, again, not a dig or a knock to my boss. It's not a knock or a dig to the powers that be, but it is saying, hey, this was not right and this can stand to be fixed. And if you're going to continue, please consider these things as you move forward. There's nothing wrong with that. People just don't like when you shine a light on things that are wrong. I don't know why people are like that. It's very strange. And yes, Stevie J, I agree. Monique and Taraji are two great examples of this. People don't like it. There you go, Zira. Let the truth touch who it may. And if you can't say amen, sometimes say ouch and keep it moving. Amen with that, Kiki. I agree. But it's just unfortunate. So yeah, y'all, you take the good with the bad, but there's been a lot more positive than negative. Um, I am working on new projects. I cannot move on to another reality TV show for, I believe, at least 12 months. So it's not even something I'm considering. I think for me, through this experience, I have really learned that reality TV is not necessarily for me, not this type of reality TV, because I am a positivity pimp. I like to be positive, and I would prefer to engage in things that are positive, whether that means creating my own content and media outlet. That might be the road for me. I enjoy writing, I enjoy teaching, I enjoy speaking. Those are things I want to give my energy to moving forward. And you know thank God there's been a lot of things coming forward. I love guest hosting on podcasts, and I love doing interviews. Like, those things are fun for me. But all the bickering and fighting and fussing and cussing and carrying on, y'all, ain't nobody got time for that. In fact, after this reunion, we doing one more final recap, and we gonna toss this mess in the trash. If it's not directly related to my fight for justice, and change, I'm gonna be like, y'all gonna ask me about my castmates, and I'm gonna be like, who is that? What was that? What they say? Who is that? Because I don't care anymore. I just don't. You said people want that Fire and Ice content collab. We working on some things to keep it up, to be honest. We are. It won't be the last time you guys see us together. Um People can love it or hate it, but the reality is that we friends in real life. It is what it is. Um but yeah, I'm proud of myself for being honest. I really am. I'm really proud of myself. But y'all, this live has gone on for 90 minutes. I love y'all. It's been nice hanging with y'all. Although y'all did leave me hanging as far as coming up on this live, I ain't gonna hold it against you, but we gotta do better in the future. Y'all got to come on up here and chat. But I appreciate y'all for hanging in with me for 90 minutes. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all of my new channel members, y'all. I cannot wait to show out and have a good key with y'all. I can't wait to let you guys in on my life a little more, and just not hide like I normally would hide, because I don't trust these people out in the public because they do too much. All that to say, I love y'all. Have an amazing night, and I'll see you soon.